Cheers. Good evening. How is everybody? Kai Waza with you. Welcome back to my channel to a somewhat overdue edition of the Cheap Lounge. Pull yourself up a chair, man. It's been kind of a rough day at work. I got another day to go, and I'm just having a cocktail this evening. I'm casual. I'm not dressing up this evening. I'm in my casual moo-moo, my casual caftan, casual resort wear, whatever, for tonight's cheap date. This is where we discuss cheap records, cheap lounge, cheap, easy listening kind of music, records and CDs, gotten on the cheap, out of the dollar bins. And it's all music that I've uploaded recently onto my online radio station, Moody Mood Music, which will be linked below, and you can listen to that anytime and hear more selections from this album and like hundreds of other records, all from the dollar bins, basically. Let me show you something first, though. See these things back here? I've had these up here for a little while. Sometimes I move things around, but these have been up here for a while. These are like some shakers I found at the side of the road. I have them stuck in my, what do you call it? Bottle of buttons. This one, every week, turns its head by itself. I don't know how, I don't know what it's about, but every week I have to turn it around. It seems like it weighs a little more on this side because of the way that it's sitting, but every week I take it out and I turn it around. And I'm telling you, within the week, it will be turned like that. Never this one, just this one. So I don't know what that means, but I'm not worried about it. It's just strange. Yes. This is a little bit overdue also because I've been without a turntable for a while. I kind of busted up my turntable, and my backup one that I had gotten from a thrift store turned out to not really work at all. So I had to break down and order one. I wanted to get one from a local business here. That's kind of my thing. I would rather, support the business, and I don't mind paying a fair amount more for it if it's like here today and they're selling it. However, one just had a brand that shall not be named that we won't be buying, and not that they're the end of the world, but they are hard on records. And the other one had, the good basic turntable, but it was like $120, $130 more than what they were asking for it on Amazon, and I just couldn't quite justify that in my head. So unfortunately, I did order it from Amazon. I mean, not that Amazon is the great evil one or whatever, but like, it was just so much significantly cheaper, way cheaper to get it from Amazon. So that's what I did. But it arrived, and it's here, and it's new, and it's nothing fancy schmancy or whatever. It's just sort of the basic Sony belt-driven turntable, right? It does the job. It has the RCA outlet, so I can run it through my existing stereo CD system, whatever. Enough about that. We were here to talk about cheap lounge, and for me to have more of my cocktail. I need it this evening. Okay. First up, we have a record by a French artist called I don't know how to ever pronounce these names correctly. This is Raymond Boisserie or Boisserie or something. Accordions of Paris, the hits of Edith Piaf. So these are songs that were made popular by Miss Edith Piaf many moons ago in the, I think, 20s and 30s even. Wasn't that when she was singing? Raymond and his Musette Orchestra. Now, not a lot of information about him out there, even on French Wikipedia. except that he was, go figure, he was an accordion player. Who knew? I guess he played other things too, but mainly the accordion. And he had several records, but they all appear to be in France, French releases, so not really international. This particular one I just happened to run across here in the United States because it's on Peter's international label, which would take some European releases and reissue them for the American market. And this was from 1980. I don't know if the really original recording was from 1980, although it sounds like it could have been. But, you know, this is the sound that we Americans think of France, right? The accordion, the musette. So it's exactly what you think it would be. That sort of let me eat a croissant while sitting by the Eiffel Tower, looking at painters wearing their little hats, whatever. It's quite a nice album, though, I must say, quite nice. Over the years, I've picked up a couple of things from Peter's International Records that I like. I really enjoyed the Hawaiian album. They have Aloha Oi by the Aloha Hawaiians. So original, everything about that. But nice, interesting album, very different. Okay, this one, don't need to say much about this. We've already talked about Mantovani. I just uploaded another Mantovani and his Cascading Strings. This record from 1967. Hollywood it's called, and it's all just themes from Hollywood films from around that time, but in that sort of cascading strings, Mantovani, quintessential easy listening sound. Very nice record. Funny thing I'll say about Mantovani is I kind of growing up, I mean, I was familiar with his music, and I knew he, with the name, thought he was Italian. And of course he is Italian, but in my mind, I thought he'd be like super Italian. I just didn't know until recently, actually, that he actually emigrated to the UK as a young person. And if you watch videos of him talking, it's totally English. I mean, he's like total English guy. So who knew? I mean, I suppose many people knew. I just didn't know.
Aren't you tired of today's modern music? Can you even call it music? Such loud, aggressive, rude noises. People saying things they can't say in public, yet they're singing about it. It's terrible, the state of the world today. But you know, pretty, beautiful music lives on. On easy listening, moody mood music radio on live365.com, the online radio station that gives a second life to old vinyl records such as myself, discarded and tossed, uncared for, into thrift shops and dollar record bins. But now we've dusted off and given a new life. Our beautiful music can become a part of your life again. Just tune in to Moody Mood Music on live365.com. We'll be spinning for you there.
Here's an interesting CD I uploaded this week, and I don't have a lot to say about it because there's not a lot to be found or to be said. I can tell you more about the instrument that is being performed on than the artist. The artist is Benjamin Sun. The CD is called The Greatest Instrumental Hits by Benjamin Sun on the 2-strings Chinese violin, also called, I don't know how to say this right, the erhu. Yeah, Not a lot of information about this guy at all. There's several people called Ben Sun. None of them seem to be him. According to the notes on the CD, he is from China, although he lived in Hawaii for quite a long time. Who knew? I didn't know. The CD does not have a date on it. He is originally from China, lived in Hawaii, won many gold medals in China for playing the erhu. Graduated from the Wuhan Conservatory of Music in China and performed with the Operatic Academy of Wuhan. Will I get buzzed for saying that word or something, or like deleted, or I don't know, the police will come? Anyway, the erhu is actually a 2-string Chinese vertical fiddle stretched out over a wooden drum-like resonator on the bottom with a snakeskin cover. And it has a very beautiful sound, and these are not Chinese songs. That's the reason I picked this CD up at a thrift store recently. They are pop, sort of romantic ballad, mostly romantic ballads, sort of like pop songs. This is Benjamin's son here. And some of these are beautiful, and some of them are kind of funny because they try and be sort of like groovy. Like La Bamba just kills me. I mean, La Bamba on the erhu slays me. Yeah. Some good stuff there. Some of it's pretty and some of it's pretty funny. We like it. Up next we have time for me to take another sip. How's your week been? Well, fall is coming. Not here, I mean, but you know. This was a nice record. It's from the year 1958, With Love from Hollywood. The theme is Hollywood this week, in case you haven't picked up on that. Shirley Jones and Jack Cassidy. Well, you probably know who both of these people are. Maybe, if you're watching this. Maybe you don't. But they were both rather well-known singers, actors in... both of them in a significant amount of theater, like Broadway musicals and whatnot. Also, both of them did television shows. Jack Cassidy did a lot of guest shows on a lot of television series. Shirley Jones, as you may know, in addition to all of her acting and singing, was the mother on The Partridge Family, which is a gig she got after turning down the role of the mother on The Brady Bunch, which went to Florence Henderson, and she turned that down. What do you know? And you probably know, if you know them, they were married for quite a long time. They did eventually divorce, but they were married for quite a long time. And they had a couple of rather famous children. One of them, well, her stepson, his son, was David Cassidy. Heartthrob, David Cassidy, passed away not too long ago, right? Yeah. And another heartthrob was their son, Mr. Sean Cassidy. I'm sure we all remember from the Hardy Boys. I used to watch the Hardy Boys. I was kind of in that age, you know, I was a kid in the 70s, early 80s. So yeah, no, well, not early 80s, but 70s. This is not the first, not the second. Apparently this is the third record that they recorded together. I don't have any of them, so this is the first one I've ever come across. It's pretty darn good. It's on Columbia Records, and they're singing It's mostly all show tune. Well, these all are show tunes, actually. And some of them are really well-known ones, and some of them are lesser-known ones. A couple of solos by Jack, one solo by Shirley, and the rest are all duets. And nicely arranged with Frank Duvall and his orchestra. I liked it. I particularly like, well, there's several songs I really liked on here. I mean, Dearly Beloved and Hit the Road to Dreamland and Jack's solo of Let's Face the Music and Dance, and a couple of songs I didn't know, a little lesser known, For You, For Me, Forevermore, which is from something I don't even know on here somewhere, and Love of My Life, which is from something else I don't know, from The Pirate, yeah. I don't know, but they're nice songs and enjoyable record.
Fall in love, why should we fall in love? Our hearts are made of it. Let's take a chance. Why be afraid of it? Hold tight, baby. We'll be swinging up in dreamland all night.
I think we all know what the Columbia label looks like, right?
Where the little cherubs trod.
By the way, Shirley Jones did have a #1 hit with the Partridge Family. I Think I Love You. Yeah. She's one of the only people that's, I think, won a Tony and had a #1 song on the pop charts. Okay, next record up. Well, this is darn interesting, this record right here. Kind of a budget, not a budget label completely, but it's from a budget label division. Decca Records had Vocalion Records, which was kind of their budget label, or their, I guess, correct me if I'm misunderstanding it, but kind of their secondary release albums, like if something had already been out and run its course, and, you know, you're just gonna give the artist less royalty on this reissue that sometimes you cut a couple of songs off of, and they do something like Vocalion or Harmony label. I think it's like that. RCA, I think RCA Camden was originally like that, although it may have changed. Anyway, yeah, kind of a budget label of Decca Records. But I don't think this one was ever released on Decca itself, at least not as far as I could find out on Discogs. It's music from the film Sweet Charity by the Sound Stage 9 Orchestra. We love the picture of the, these are apparently dance hall girls, you know, the 10 cent a dance kind of thing. I love this picture. I've never seen the movie. It starred Shirley MacLaine. And it's, the book, I guess, is different from the movie. In the book, she's one of these 10 cent a dance girls, and it's a love story and blah blah. I haven't seen it, but a couple of hit songs came out of it that you're probably familiar with. If My Friends Could See Me Now, you know, if my friends could see me now, they'd never believe it. That came out of here. Also, Big Spender, you know, hey big spender, spend a little time with me. That's from this movie. But the reason I am bringing this album up really is because it's actually, if you are a fan of space age pop music, or if you like those compilations that came out of Europe, those CDs of all that sort of like cheap hussy movies and lesbos vampires and all sorts of stuff, and production music like the Betty Page stuff, this record is like an undiscovered gem. I've never seen tracks from it showing up anyplace else. I don't know who the hell Soundstage 9 Orchestra is. There's only one other record on Discogs listed by them, so there's some sort of like not real orchestra, whatever. I don't know you, because this is not the original soundtrack. So this is, you know, just it's all instrumental and just music from the film redone by this, whoever these people are. But if you like that kind of space age pop music, you will love this record, because it's just a darn cool, groovy record. I mean, check some of it out. pretty cool, right? Pretty cool stuff. Who knew? I've never heard of it. Never really seen this record around very much, but I'll tell you, if you catch it in a dollar bin and you like that kind of really groovalicious, kind of swinging 60s space age pop bachelor pad music, grab this record because it's pretty cool, you know, pretty cool. Finally today, well, this is very dyed-in-the-wool, easy listening here. Dyed-in-the-wool. Capitol Records, The Starline. Lyrical music for listening, the voices of Walter Schumann. And just in case you weren't sure, it was $1 twice. More than once it sold for $1. Walter Schumann. Let me share just a little bit about him. Kind of a sad story, really. Sad story. Born in 1913, died in 1958, was a law school student, dropped out of law school to join a college concert band. When the band kind of split up and they all went their separate ways after they all finished, he continued on in music. Ended up being a composer for films, television, theater. Probably best known for his composition of the Dragnet theme. That's probably his most well-known composition. At one time, he was the director for Armed Forces Radio Network. And then he had this group going, the Voices of Walter Schumann, who performed on television shows and did quite a few recordings by Walter Schumann. He's sort of considered the vocal alternative to Jackie Gleason, and like it's usually super easy listening, super mellow. But at the young age of 44, in 1958, he underwent one of the first people to undergo open heart surgery, one of the early open heart surgery patients. And there were complications shortly after, and he passed away at age 44 in 1958. So, that was sad. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Because the group, the Voices of Walter Schumann, after his death, actually continued on. They changed their name to the Top 20 because there were 20 of them, I guess, and but they kept performing on television. But nice records, and I think Walter Schumann is one of those artists you will see in the dollar bins quite often. That's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any of these records or any ideas, opinions, thoughts, whatever about these artists, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, Moody Mood Music will be linked below too, so check that out if you want to. And thank you for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video. Have a lovely rest of the evening or morning or day or whenever it is that you're watching this.